Hello, welcome to Washburn TV. I'm Forrest Lee Jr. and I'm going to show you the Forrest Lee Bender acoustic guitar from Washburn. In this video I will explain the background of how it was developed, the tuning and adjustments, and how you can utilize this guitar for its full potential. First, let me explain how the Washburn Forrest Lee Bender acoustic was developed and why it was developed. As an artist, songwriter, and producer here in Nashville, I've been in several situations where a bender in an acoustic guitar would be an asset. One of those is songwriting. You're always looking for new sounds and twists that inspire, and if you can imagine a pedal steel part or a resonator part in your song while you're writing it, you can use the guitar to emulate those parts. And that may create new ideas and inspire you to write. Another thing is when you're doing your demos, you can do an inexpensive acoustic vocal demo just with an acoustic guitar and your voice and actually create some pedal steel or resonator style parts on the guitar and maybe take that to the next level without spending a whole lot of money on extra instrumentation. You could do it yourself, and that could be the edge that gets it to a producer or an A&R person and makes them listen to it and go, hey, I can hear that, I get that idea, without going over budget for your demo. The second biggest reason that I have found this really useful for personally is when I'm doing a radio tour or an artist is doing a radio tour to support a new record. Many times the artist has to rely on an acoustic guitar or an acoustic guitar and another acoustic guitar player for accompaniment. Another example of how you can use this guitar is when you're doing a radio tour. To support a new record, you many times have to take, just yourself, the artist, and possibly a second acoustic guitarist as instrumentation. When you're doing an on-air performance in the radio station, you can't bring the whole band in. So if you have pedal steel or interesting bender parts or resonator style parts, you can utilize the guitar to recreate or come up with similar ideas that will make it sound more like the actual record. This works awesome. I've done this in many situations myself, and I don't know how I could live without it now. Being a Washburn endorsed artist myself and a bender player of many years, I had the idea to throw a bender in one of my Washburn acoustic guitars. This led to my decision to approach Washburn about doing a production model bearing my name. I had already videotaped all the product demonstrations for the entire new line of acoustic guitars that Washburn came out with. And during the filming, I discovered the perfect dreadnought candidate to put a bender in. This one is based on a cedar top, rosewood back and sides, Fishman electronics with the tuner built into it. It has the abalone rosette and purfling. And I opted for a Tree of Life, but you can also get it, the WD-26 or WD-FLB 26 SCE model has dot inlays, and the WD-FLB 28 SCE model has the Tree of Life. The cool thing about this is it comes with a bender. This guitar is designed to be used with the equipped strap locks, and I suggest using a 2.5 inch or larger leather strap for comfort. Suede back straps prevent sliding over the shoulder, so that's what I use, but any strap will work. Let me explain how to tune the bender. The Allen screw closest to the bender pull arm, which is this screw right here, is your tuning adjustment. This is designed on a tuner cam. So first, let's tune the guitar to pitch without the bender. Okay, so there's a G chord. Now with the guitar tuned to standard tuning, push the neck down slowly and it bends the second string, or the B string in this video. Okay? So what it's doing is it's bending the second string a full tone, or 2 frets. So that's how that works. Now, if you need to tune it, if the guitar is a little bit flat, the bent note is a little bit flat, use the supplied Allen wrench and you turn counterclockwise. Turning it counterclockwise will make the note sharp. So I'm going to turn it a little bit counterclockwise. It's just a hair sharp. So now I'm going to turn it back. Now if the guitar is a little bit sharp, then here, let me do an example by turning it quite a bit out. If the guitar is a little sharp when you pull it, then you turn clockwise until you get it perfectly in tune. You can also use the tuner on the top You tune it until it comes up to a C sharp if you're in standard tuning. Now, to adjust the tension of the guitar, or the bender I should say, for your comfort, it should be set fairly loose, but not so loose that when you're moving around it actuates the bender by itself. So again, use the supplied Allen wrench, and to tighten the tension, make very small turns, quarter turn tops when you're doing this. You can tighten it up about a quarter of a turn. That'll make it a little bit stiffer. Now if you back it out about a quarter of a turn, that will make it a little bit easier to pull. After you've tuned and set your tension adjustment, you should always try to play a few chords and bend it, release it, bend it, release it, and make sure that you have your tuning set for your preference. I always play an A sus2 with an open B string. You can move that anywhere up the neck using bar method. Until you get the tuning exactly where you like it. And it has very fine threads on the tuning adjustment so that you can get it dialed in exactly where you want it. Small adjustments should always be made when you first start adjusting anything on the tuner. It should be set pretty close from the factory. Depending on your string gauge, if you change the gauge of strings, you will have to adjust everything accordingly. But always make very small, fine adjustments, 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch or quarter turn or 1/8 turn adjustments until you get it set exactly where you want. Now I'm going to show you a few examples of what you can do with it. The typical pedal steel thing that most people start playing a bender with would be an A sus2 chord and bending it up. So if you play the notes individually, that's kind of a pedal steel type lick. And then if you move that up to the D position, still playing an A position but up to the 5th fret, that's your 4 chord or your D chord. And then if you move it up 2 more frets, that's your E chord or your 5 chord. So you can also slowly bend it down or bend it up while you're going down in half-step increments from the 5 to the 4 chords. So now you can always add other notes into that, or half-step up and down into that position. Or play an A sus2 with A7 sus2. Now I'll show you a couple of different chords you can use it with. You can do a D7th chord and bend it up to a D chord. Or take a D chord and release it. Taking a suspended chord and releasing it back to a D. Another really cool thing you can do, and I'll go through a few different chords here, is take a D minor, okay, and then go to an A minor. So what I did is I went from a D minor to an A minor to a C to a G. You can see it works really well on all of those chords. E chord, an E 7th chord. Get my fingers on here right. Let's see, another cool position that I use a lot is I use a C 7th position. I think I stole that one from Albert Lee or somebody many years ago. So you're taking the 7th and bending it up to a 9 chord. So another thing that I like to do, say we're in the key of A, is come up with interesting lines and parts. This is what I would do in songwriting to kind of get the juices flowing in the songwriting session. You know, something that you would normally do like that. Well, if you add the bender to it, it gives it a little bit more of a twist. So, you can do that in pretty much any key. Just finding interesting little things to play. Any of these chord positions, a D chord position, you know, if you move it up 2 frets, you're in E. So there's just numerous possibilities to kind of expand your horizons by using a bender in things that you could never possibly bend on an acoustic guitar. Just trying to do that. Can't do it without a bender. There are so many things that I couldn't cover in this video, just different ways of utilizing a bender. And there's a wealth of information online. Please get online and check it out. I suggest exploring all of the different websites and stuff, you know, the YouTube clips and whatnot. You can listen to examples of this guitar in action played by me and another Washburn artist, John Pettifer, because we used it on a tribute album called Higher to Go, a tribute to Forrest Lee. And we used this guitar, both him and I used the Bender Acoustic exclusively for all of our acoustic guitar parts. And there's some shredding acoustic guitar, chicken picking stuff on there that's pretty cool. But I also used it for all the rhythm stuff and for the little background. You know, stuff like that as well. So anyway, please visit washburn.com for more information about all of the Washburn products, and I thank you for watching this video. Till next time, see you later.